Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Stories Cube. Today's story is about something you can never get back. Something you're spending right now as you listen to this. Something we all take for granted until it's too late. Time. We say we don't have enough time. We kill time. We waste time. We spend time on things that don't matter. We scroll endlessly. We worry endlessly. We delay endlessly. We act like time is infinite. Like there will always be tomorrow. Like we have forever to do what matters. But we don't. Every second that passes is gone forever. Every day that ends will never return. Every moment with someone might be the last. We know this intellectually, but we don't live like we know it. Today, I'm sharing a story that will change how you think about time. A story about a man who learned the value of time when he ran out of it. This is not just about learning English. This is about learning to live before it's too late. So be present for these final 20 minutes. Really present, because that's what this story is about. Are you ready for our final journey together? Let's begin. The story. There was once a man named Richard. He was 45 years old, successful businessman, owned 3 companies, wealthy beyond most people's dreams. But he was always busy. Always. "I don't have time," was his most common phrase. His daughter would ask, "Dad, can you come to my recital?" "I don't have time, sweetheart. Important meeting." His wife would suggest, "Let's take a vacation together." "I don't have time. The business needs me." His friends would invite, "Come to dinner this weekend." "I don't have time. Too much work." Richard believed time was money, and he was making a lot of money, so he was using his time well, right? One Tuesday, Richard went to the doctor for a routine checkup. He almost skipped it. "I don't have time for this." But his wife insisted. "Richard, you haven't had a checkup in 3 years. Just go." So he went, annoyed at the wasted hour. The doctor ran some tests. Routine stuff. A week later, the doctor called. "Richard, I need you to come in. There's something we need to discuss." The tone in his voice made Richard's stomach drop. He went in the next day. The doctor didn't waste time. "Richard, your test showed something concerning. We did more tests to confirm. You have pancreatic cancer. Stage 4. The words hit Richard like a physical blow. "What does that mean?" The doctor's face was sympathetic. "It means the cancer has spread. It's advanced. With treatment, you might have 6 months to a year. Without treatment, maybe 3 to 6 months. 6 months to a year." Richard's mind went blank. All he could think was, "I don't have time for this." Then the absurdity of that thought hit him. He didn't have time for cancer? No, he didn't have time, period. At first, Richard tried to continue as usual. He went to work. He attended meetings. He made business decisions. But everything felt different, surreal, meaningless. His business partner was discussing a 5-year expansion plan, and Richard thought, "I won't be here in 5 years. I might not be here in 5 months." At a board meeting, executives argued about quarterly projections, and Richard thought, "None of this matters. None of this will matter when I'm gone." He started chemotherapy. The side effects were brutal. Nausea, weakness, hair loss. But Richard kept working. From the hospital, from home, anywhere. His wife, Susan, was confused. "Richard, why are you still working so hard? You need a rest. You need to spend time with family." "I need to make sure the business is secure," he said. "I need to make sure you and Emily are taken care of financially." "We'll be fine financially," Susan said. "You've made more than enough money. What we need is you, not your money. You." But Richard didn't listen. He didn't know how to not work. Work had been his identity for 25 years. 3 months into his diagnosis, Richard was at his office late one evening, working on a contract, some deal that seemed important. His daughter, Emily, called. "Dad, are you coming home soon?" "I don't know, honey. I have work to finish." There was a pause. "Dad, I'm home from college just for the weekend. I fly back tomorrow. I was hoping we could spend time together." Richard felt a pang of guilt, but he looked at the pile of work on his desk. "I know, sweetie, but this contract is important. I'll see you when I get home. Okay?" even if it's late. Another pause. Okay, Dad. I love you. Love you too. He hung up and returned to his work. An hour later, his phone rang again. It was Susan. Her voice was different. Angry. Richard, Emily is crying in her room. Do you know what she just told me? She said, Mom, Dad is dying and he still doesn't have time for me. He's never had time for me. Susan's voice broke. Richard, you have months left. Maybe less. Do you really want to spend them working? Do you really want your daughter's last memory of you to be that you chose work over her? Richard felt like he'd been punched in the gut. He looked at the contract on his desk. The contract that seemed so important. In 50 years, would anyone remember this contract? In 50 days, would it matter? No, but Emily would remember. Whether her father chose her in his final months. Richard closed his laptop. He left the office. He drove home. Emily was in her room when he arrived. He knocked softly. Emily, come in. She was sitting on her bed, eyes red from crying. She looked surprised to see him. I thought you were working. I was. But I realized something. The work will still be there tomorrow. But you're only here until tomorrow afternoon. And I've missed you. Emily started crying again. Richard sat beside her and held her. I'm sorry, he said. I'm sorry for all the times I said I didn't have time. The truth is, I did have time. I just chose to spend it on the wrong things. I thought you didn't want to spend time with me. Emily whispered. Oh, sweetheart, no. I always wanted to. I just got so caught up in work that I convinced myself work was more important. But it's not. It never was. You are. You always were. They talked until late that night. For the first time in years, really talked. About her life, her dreams, her fears, her memories. About his regrets, his love for her, his pride in her. When Emily finally went to sleep, Richard sat with Susan. I've been doing everything wrong, he said. Susan took his hand. Then do it right now. You still have time. But I don't know how much. No one does, Richard. No one knows how much time they have. The difference is, now you're aware of it. So use it wisely. The next day, Richard made a decision. He called his business partner. I'm stepping back from day-to-day operations. Effective immediately. You'll take over as CEO. Richard, are you sure? What will you do? I'm going to spend time with my family. While I still have it. He canceled all his meetings. He stopped checking work emails. He let go of deals and contracts and plans. At first, it felt wrong, uncomfortable, like he was being irresponsible. But gradually it felt freeing. He started doing things he'd been too busy for. He had breakfast with Susan every morning. Not rushing, not checking his phone, just talking, laughing, being together. He called Emily every day, just to hear her voice, to tell her he loved her, to be present in her life. He reconnected with old friends, people he'd lost touch with because he was too busy. They came to visit. They shared memories. They said things they'd never said. He took that vacation Susan had been asking for. They went to Italy, just the two of them. They walked through old cities. They ate long meals. They didn't rush anywhere. Richard realized this is what he'd been working for. Not the money itself, but the life the money was supposed to buy. And he'd been so busy making money that he'd forgotten to live the life. 4 months into his diagnosis, Richard started writing a letter to Emily about the lessons he'd learned too late, lessons he hoped she'd learn earlier. He wrote, Dear Emily, if I could go back and do everything differently, I would. I would go to every recital. I would never miss a birthday. I would put away my phone during dinner. I would choose you over work every single time. But I can't go back. None of us can. So I'm writing this so you can learn from my mistakes. Time is the only thing you can get more of. I made more money. I can't make more time. I built companies. I can't rebuild yesterday. Spend your time like it's precious. Because it is. Busy is not the same as important. I was so busy, constantly busy. I thought that made me important, productive, successful. But most of what I was busy with didn't actually matter. Don't confuse activity with purpose. People are what matter. At the end, I don't care about any business deal. I don't think about money or success. I think about you, about your mother, about the people I love. That's what matters. Only that. Don't wait for someday. I always said someday. Someday I'll take that trip. Someday I'll spend more time with family. Someday I'll do what I actually want. My someday ran out. Do it now. Today. While you still can. Every moment is a choice. Every time I said I don't have time, I was actually saying, that's not my priority. We make time for what matters to us. I made time for work because I made it my priority. I should have made you my priority. I love you, Emily. I always did. I just didn't show it enough. Don't make my mistakes. Live fully. Love deeply. Be present. Time is all we have. Don't waste yours. Love. Dad. Richard's final months were different from his first 45 years. He wasn't making money. He wasn't building anything. He wasn't achieving or accomplishing. He was just living, really living. He spent afternoons with Susan, doing nothing in particular, sitting in the garden, holding hands, being together. He had long phone calls with Emily, about everything and nothing, just connecting, just being father and daughter. He made peace with people he'd hurt. He apologized for times he'd been absent. He told people he loved them. He noticed small things, the way morning light looked, the taste of good coffee, the sound of Susan's laugh, the feeling of being alive, things he'd been too busy to notice for decades. One evening, Susan asked him, "Do you regret anything?" Richard thought for a long moment. "I regret not living this way sooner. I regret all the years I wasted chasing things that didn't matter. I regret all the moments I missed with you and Emily." He paused. "But I don't regret these last months. These have been the best months of my life. Not because I'm dying, but because I'm finally living." Susan's eyes filled with tears. "I wish we had more time." "Me too. But I'm grateful for the time we have. For the first time in my life, I'm truly grateful for each day." One afternoon, a young businessman came to visit Richard. His name was Marcus. He worked at one of Richard's companies. He had heard about Richard's illness and wanted to pay respects. They sat in Richard's living room. Marcus was uncomfortable, not knowing what to say. "Mr. Chun, I just wanted to tell you, you've been such an inspiration. The way you built your businesses, your work ethic, your success. You taught me so much about what it takes to succeed." Richard looked at this young man, so eager, so driven, so much like Richard had been. "Marcus, can I tell you something?" "Of course. Everything I taught you about success, I was wrong." Marcus looked confused. Richard continued, "I taught you to work harder than everyone else. I was wrong. Work-life balance matters more than I admitted. I taught you that success means sacrificing personal time. I was wrong. What you sacrifice is actually what matters most. I taught you that business comes first. I was wrong. People come first. Always. I taught you to be busy, always productive. I was wrong. Being present is more valuable than being productive." Marcus was quiet, processing this. "But you're so successful. Your companies, your wealth." "I'm dying, Marcus. And none of that matters. Not the companies, not the wealth, not the deals or the achievements." Richard leaned forward. "You know what I think about now? My daughter's 8th birthday party that I missed for a business meeting. I can't even remember what that meeting was about. But I remember her face when I didn't show up. I think about anniversaries I forgot because I was traveling for work. Vacations I canceled. Bedtime stories I never read. Conversations I never had. I made millions of dollars, but I lost thousands of moments, and I can't buy them back." Marcus looked shaken. "I'm telling you this," Richard said gently, "because you remind me of myself at your age, and I don't want you to make my mistakes. Work is important, but it's not everything. Don't let it become everything. Don't wait until you're dying to realize what actually matters." After Marcus left, Susan said, "That was kind of you, to warn him. It's the only thing I can do now. I can't change my past, but maybe I can help someone else not waste their future." Richard died 8 months after his diagnosis. Peacefully, at home, with Susan and Emily beside him. At his funeral, Emily gave a eulogy. She talked about two versions of her father. For most of my life, my father was absent, physically present sometimes, but mentally always at work. I grew up thinking work was more important than family. That success meant sacrificing time with people you love. But in his final 8 months, I met a different version of my father. A father who called just to talk. A father who listened. A father who said, "I love you" more than "I'm busy." A father who chose people over profit. Those 8 months taught me more than the previous 22 years. Not because he was perfect, but because he was present. My father's greatest lesson wasn't about building businesses. It was about the value of time. How we spend our time shows what we truly value. And in the end, he valued us. He left us money, yes. But more importantly, he left us a lesson. Don't wait until you're dying to start living. Emily's voice broke. Dad, I'm grateful for those final 8 months. I wish we had more time. But I'm grateful you used the time you had to finally be with us. Thank you for that gift. 5 years after Richard's death, Emily was 27. She had graduated, started her career, was engaged to be married. One day, she was cleaning out old boxes and found something. An envelope with her name on it, in her father's handwriting. A letter she'd never seen before. Not the letter about lessons. A different one. She opened it with shaking hands. Dear Emily, if you're reading this, I'm gone. And you're probably living your life, working, maybe married, maybe with children of your own. I'm writing this from the hospital. I have maybe a month left. And I'm thinking about time. I wasted so much of it. Years. Decades. Gone forever. But I want you to know, I'm not telling you this story to make you feel sad. I'm telling you so you don't repeat my mistakes. Here's what I wish someone had told me when I was your age. Time with people you love is never wasted. Even if you're just sitting together. Even if you're doing nothing special. That time is everything. Career success is hollow without life balance. Build something you're proud of. But don't build at the expense of your relationships. You can be successful and present. Today is not guaranteed. I thought I had decades. I had months. Don't assume you have time. Live like each day matters. Because it does. Moments are more valuable than money. I spent years making money to provide for you. But what you actually needed was my time. My presence. My attention. Those are priceless. Your children will remember your presence, not your presence. When you have kids someday, remember this. They don't need expensive things. They need you. Actually you. Not distracted you. Not busy you. Present you. I'm writing this because I love you. And because my biggest regret is not spending more time showing you that love. So please, Emily, take the trip. Make the phone call. Show up for the people you love. Put away your phone at dinner. Don't work through weekends if you don't have to. Remember birthdays. Say I love you often. Be present. Because here's what I learned too late. Time is the only currency that matters. And you can't save it for later. You can only spend it now. Spend it wisely. Spend it on love. Spend it on people who matter. I ran out of time, but you still have yours. Don't waste it the way I did. I love you forever. Dad, P.S. I'm proud of you. I probably didn't say that enough. But I am. So proud. Emily sat on the floor, crying and laughing at the same time. She picked up her phone. She called her mother. Mom, are you free for dinner tonight? I want to come over and just spend time with you. Of course, sweetheart. Is everything okay? Yeah, everything's okay. I don't want to wait. I want to see you today. After hanging up, Emily looked at her calendar, full of meetings, deadlines, obligations. She started canceling things, making space, making time for what actually mattered. Her father's final gift was teaching her what he learned too late. Time is all we have. Use it before it's gone. So my dear friends, Richard's story is a warning for all of us. We all think we have more time than we do. We all postpone what matters for what seems urgent. We all take for granted the people and moments we'll one day desperately miss. But here's the truth. Time is the most valuable thing you have, and you're spending it right now. Every second you spend, you can never get back. Every day that passes is gone forever. Every moment with someone might be your last. Here's what you need to understand. First, I don't have time is a lie. You have time. Everyone has 24 hours in a day. What you're really saying is, that's not my priority. Be honest about your priorities. Second, busy doesn't mean important. Richard was busy every day of his adult life. And at the end, almost none of it mattered. Are you busy with things that actually matter? Third, you don't know how much time you have. Richard thought he had decades. He had months. You think you have tomorrow. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Live accordingly. Fourth, people remember your presence, not your productivity. Your boss will replace you within weeks. Your company will continue without you. But your family? They'll remember whether you showed up. Fifth, later might never come. I'll spend time with them later. I'll take that trip someday. I'll tell them I love them eventually. What if later never comes? Let me ask you something important. If you died tomorrow, what would you regret not doing? Who would you regret not spending time with? What would you regret not saying? Now ask yourself, why are you waiting? Here's how to value your time starting today. First, audit your time. For 1 week, track where your time goes. How much on work? Social media? TV? Family? Friends? Does how you spend time reflect what you value? Second, define what actually matters. Not what society says should matter. What actually matters to you? Then restructure your time around that. Third, practice presence. When you're with someone, be with them. Phone away. Mind present. Fully there. Quality of time matters more than quantity. Fourth, do it now. Call that person. Take that trip. Have that conversation. Mend the relationship. Don't wait for the perfect time. Do it now. Fifth, remember you're going to die. I know it's uncomfortable to think about, but it's true. You will die. We all will. Living with that awareness makes you live more fully. Richard spent 45 years living like he had forever, and 8 months living like he was dying. Those 8 months were the most alive he'd ever been. Don't wait until you're dying to start living. Don't wait until it's too late to be present. Don't wait until they're gone to tell them you love them. Do it now, today, while you still have time, because time is all we have, and we never get it back. This is English Stories Cube. Take care of yourself, everyone. Take care of your time. Take care of what matters. And remember, you are spending your life right now. Make sure you're spending it on what matters. Goodbye for now, my friends. And thank you for sharing your time with me.